And good morning. This is your friendly neighborhood Tironan, and today we're going to be looking at the uh, Lavochkin LaGG-3. Now, historically, this aircraft is interesting because it went to war and it was not ready for war. And the problem was in the engine. There was an engine that was supposed to come out called a 106 that proved to be too unreliable for service, and so it was stuck with a Shimov 105P. Well, it was not enough engine for the aircraft. It was heavy, it was slow, uh, and its gun armament was about the only satisfactory thing that could be said for it. Its manufacturing was unique in the fact that it was thin wood veneers and phenolic resins heat treated and put together. It was absolutely inflammable, but it had a major problem in the fact that it would shatter. But when you're a country that's really worried about its aluminum supplies, it was a very attractive aircraft for the Soviet Union at the time. And it was what they had, so they produced about 6,500 of them. It was later replaced by the LaGG-5 and a radial engine, and that seemed to have solved its problems. So, as it is in the game, airspeed is terrible, which you'd expect. That's a reflection of reality. Maneuverability is not bad. It's not zero KI 43 type range, but it's not bad. And this is a totally unupgraded aircraft. But I have not paid any attention to this line at all, and I needed to get it out there for you all to look at. And I have no experience with it. The pilot isn't even fully upgraded yet. So this is going to be a kind of a baseline video. We're going to take a look at it and we're going to learn about it together. And we'll take it into battle. And by the way, this is a Tier 5 aircraft. So let's see what we do with it. And this is an excellent opportunity for me to make a total jerk out of myself. So please, if I do, enjoy it, laugh with me, and we'll see if we can't do better next time. I am not above laughing at myself. It helps. Coffee in the morning, gotta love it. Now you would think that on a tier 5 we just jump right into tier, but I guess not. So I don't know what to say about this aircraft. I can tell you about it historically. It was hated by the pilots. They preferred the I-16, which were dying in droves. It was slow. It was sluggish. Hopefully that doesn't translate that well into the game. By the maneuverability scores, I would say it's not, but it is going to be slow. So needless to say, I'm not expecting a whole lot, but we'll find out. I could be wrong. Believe it or not, even with this aircraft, the Soviets did produce some aces with it. One fellow made it got 11 kills with it. But even he said it was not a pleasant client. And so far, this thing is living up to its reputation, not being oh, we got hung up there. Well, we are running shadow play and recording at the same time, and so I guess that can be expected. And hopefully we saved our fellow. That's worth something to me. Okay, so we're going to kind of shoot past this guy a little bit. And as advertised, turning circle isn't bad at all. he's getting chewed right up. And he's dead. Alright, so looks like we got ourselves a turn and burn. And we'll let the other side's aircraft deal with the bombers coming in. Maybe that'll keep them happy. And I'm just going to follow the rest of the team wherever they're going. They have two Capstar one. If we let them have it very long, they'll build an insurmountable lead, and life will not be very fun, will it? And one thing I can assure you is I'm not going to keep up with that P-38F in a dive, so we need to get him quickly. And he do believe I've got a P-40 on my tail. I didn't invite him, and he thinks he's going to outturn me. Okay. Obviously, he's not outturning me. In fact, I don't think he's even keeping up. In a couple more circles, I'm going to have him. And I bet he figures that out pretty quick. It's no zero, but it ain't bad. Not in that regard. And the guns are effective for this tier. Now, I doubt when I get in a mixed 5.6 it's going to be nearly as much fun. And I have got to move. Well, there's we had some good he had some good fighter cover. I might not be able to do too much about it. And because I rammed him, I definitely won't be doing anything good about it. Well, hopefully I contributed to taking him down. You can't leave IL-2s alone for very long. They will completely destroy your cap points for you. And we are not doing a good job with caps. Now I'm going to guess this thing isn't very good at altitude. And we should not have a lot of luck catching up to the guy, but let's see what can happen. We'll plot a true intercept course for him. Lean on the boost a little bit. He's trying to get around the heavy fighter on his tail and inflict damage. P-38 got him. We need to continue on. Okay, we did get that. And like everything else with the 20mm, is not that good at it overheats. Got somebody on my tail. We're going to go ahead and just get out of the way. And this thing is fast enough, and it's totally unupgraded right now. Not a single upgrade on it. It's very good at... Now he's going to try to ram me. And I can kind of understand it with heavy fighters. They have a real tough time keeping people in their sights long enough, if they can ram you to get the job done, they kind of do. But I'm said it once, I'll say it again. If your primary tactic is ramming, find some other game to play. His dust doesn't show you off very well. Okay, so we got that done. I'm going to try to get a little altitude here. Obviously, you haven't got much boost in there. Trying to be faithful to the historical model of this aircraft. While I'm still making it playable in the game. And that's fair. This thing was shooting down Messerschmitt BF-109s, and you can't claim that that was an accident. Though I think that's more a testament to the pilot than the aircraft. The firepower on this is adequate. Hopefully with some upgrades it'll come up a little bit. Stuka Steve here has been shot down. Looks like we'll get our bombing run in. And we got defeated. Yeah, well, we just waited too long to get the other caps. I'm as responsible for that as everybody else. Should have pushed a little harder on that one. Okay, so my impressions of the aircraft. This is a Tier 5 aircraft, and I've been playing in Tiers 6, 7 for quite a bit, so that's coloring my view a little bit. We got 6 destroyed and assist with 6. Help capture a sector. You know, it's not a terrible game. Came in first on the losing side. Aircraft I prefer at this level: the P-51A, the Spitfire, are both aircraft I like better. Though I'm kind of more of an energy guy, as high performance turn and burn pilot than I am a straight turn and burn fighter, which is what this is. So what are we looking at? Well, survivability is not great. Gun armament is pedestrian. Airspeed is slow. Maneuverability is good. And altitude performance is 3,000 feet. About what you'd expect from a turn and burn fighter. Excuse me, got onto the wrong thing. So what can we expect? Well, there's no airframe upgrade. When you come up here, which is your sole upgrade, your 23mm cannon here, you're going to come up to 177, which should help somewhat. And coming up the engine upgrades, you'll come up from very slow to middle and slow. Alright, so this is going to be the aircraft we're going to see. I'll go ahead and upgrade this throughout the day, and then we'll go ahead and show this thing fully upgraded, and hopefully by tomorrow I'll have this thing ready to show as fully upgraded to get a better feel for the aircraft or what it is. Right now, hard to recommend this aircraft. Let's see what happens with the next one. I'm kind of looking at the LaGG-5 now, the LaGG-5 FN, at LaGG-7, LaGG-9. There's quite a succession of the LaGG fighters, and they were very well thought of. So I'm hoping that this will improve and that it will get better. This was admittedly, the LaGG-1 was the most horrible beast ever known to man. This was very much admitted as a very mediocre aircraft. They aren't the only ones flying one out there, folks. If you think this was bad, go look up the Block 1 152, the Marines 146. France had to fly against Germany. They were awful. And so they're trying to be a little realistic to the historical nature of the aircraft. They remember when you got a clean sheet design like the I-220, where it was one prototype. I doubt it ever had any armament installed in it, and never fought as a real fighter in a war. Then you get to do what you want to with it, right? You can just slot it in where it fits right, and of course the aircraft fits perfectly and does things just right. Love this aircraft, by the way. When you're talking about an aircraft that has to go back to reality, nobody would willingly get into a LaGG-3 unless they had to. Unfortunately, for a lot of the Soviet pilots, they had to. It's what you get. We flew the Brewster F2, F2A, I believe was the designation for it. And it wasn't a god-awful aircraft. It was just a guaranteed for getting killed if you ran across a Zero or a Nakajima KI-43. It couldn't get out of its own way. It was slow and ill-maneuverable, and this is just another of those early war transitional aircraft. And before you Brits get too uppity there, remember the Bolton Paul Defiant. There were lots of dumb aircraft out there, right? So this is one that developed into something pretty magnificent in reality. Whether that follows through on this line, we'll find out. I've got something to work for and get back to you with, and hopefully we'll have another video out tomorrow. So as always, if you like the video, please